Flagrant. So apparently, the Flagrant guys are finally learning from their mistakes of how they allowed a fascist to become president. Let's talk about it. Let's skip ahead.
All right, let's talk about what happened in Minneapolis. ICE murdered an American citizen in cold blood, and then the Trump administration called him a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like plain and simple.
Yeah.
I see the administration trying to spin it, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't even have a moment where they're like, hey, we're reviewing the footage. We're going to try to see what's really happening. All of them, Trump and all the cronies, put out collective statements that immediately blamed an American citizen that was exercising his First and Second Amendment rights. Right? He has the right to protest. He has the right to carry a firearm. He's a legal gun owner, right? There's no question about this whatsoever. And the administration immediately comes out and they try to gaslight the public, which you cannot do when we have 15 different videos of what happened.
Yes.
And
that is what they do, though.
But that is what they do.
Yeah.
And I think that governments have probably been doing this for centuries, millennia. And now you have a public that is armed with phones and we can see what actually fucking happened. And you're not going to just lie to us, plain and simple, like that. And yeah, it's just, I mean, to me, it's like you can have, first of all, I know we've had Trump on the podcast. I know there's probably people like you guys are the last ones that I want to hear talk about this. I don't think any of us are having this conversation to like curry any like goodwill or, you know, get people to like us or something like that. This is something that is undeniably abhorrent and we should be called out. Simple as that.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
I get the frustration. People are like, oh, but you guys were with him, da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I get it.
100%. I get it.
Yeah.
Again, if you never want to watch another thing again, because we have Trump on, that is totally fine. Respect it. I completely get it. You're 100% allowed to be frustrated.
We made that decision knowing it was open to criticism. All right, there it is.
No knock on any criticism. That being said, like moving forward, we don't just like stay silent when something has this. Like if we do have a platform, there's people that we're talking to, you know, and we see something that is just so blatant. There's no like partisan bullshit with this. If you see it with your own eyes, you know exactly what happened. And there's something disgusting that's happening, not only in Minneapolis, I'm sure it's happening in other parts of the United States, where it's ICE is under the guise of security, right? Under the guise of safety, because that's what they're doing, right? Is every time something horrific happens, they keep going, but look at the pedophiles we got. Look at the murderers we got. Look at all the violent criminals we got. I looked at the numbers. It's 5% of the people they deported are violent criminals.
Yes.
There's probably more pedophiles in the Oval Office.
Let's revisit a point that I've made before. For those people who are learning their mistakes of endorsing Trump and pushing his message, should we let them in? Listen, leftist, liberal, center-left, anti-Trump Republican, listen to me clear. I'm not going to mince words. The answer is yes. It just is. The answer is not, no, we should condemn them in their entire life. If there's one thing that Christians got right, that is the essence of forgiveness. Now, of course, the person you forgiving has to be in good faith. They have to actually want to do better. But in reality, when it comes down to America and how it's going to be better moving forward, we need to be together. We need to work as a unit to get past this fascist government and the crazy individuals of the MAGA cult. The majority of Americans need to be in unison. We heard it from MLK that we have to work together. It's a we thing. We can't selectively choose. So if people are learning from their mistakes and choosing the right side and we can believe in them, then we should all work together for a better country and fight against this fascist regime. We just do. So I am pissed that Andrew Schultz was so much of a dumbass that he brought Donald Trump on and was pushing his message. And I'm pissed at all these other motherfuckers who didn't know any better. If they're going to apologize and if they're going to recognize how things are moving forward, I mean, they had Mom Dami on, so it's clear that it's not a just MAGA thing. Then I want to hear them out and extend the olive branch.
Exactly. If you bring up another fucking pedophile about deporting and you're not releasing the Epstein list, just shut the fuck up, all of you.
Yes.
I don't want to hear anything else about, oh, we got to deport the pedophiles. They're right here.
Yeah.
They're right here. They're a list of them, and you're not exposing it. And this is the thing that we've been asking for even before Trump was in office.
Yep.
Anyway, point being is you see this act, and then you see ICE and the way that ICE is operating, right? With, I mean, masked guys, no name tags. I 100%. Like, I heard people bringing it up, and like sometimes people are trying to go like, "Oh, you're exaggerating." No. You have to understand. It's like you have a government-enforced militia with no accountability
for training.
Inexperience, poor training. Obviously, you saw from this circumstance, no effort to de-escalate. If anything, efforts to escalate the situation. And yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. And then when you see the administration defend it, you go, well, where will the accountability ever come from? This is a government-enforced agency, and the government is backing them immediately without even reviewing the tapes, saying that they did nothing wrong. So you have guys that you don't know their names, you don't know what they look like, that the government is backing with impunity. What do you think is going to happen? More of this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Joey's from Minneapolis, obviously. He was saying they have more ICE officials or whatever than they do law enforcement, like actual police officers in Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Yeah.
And apparently they have a quota of people,
correct.
and that's why they're in such a rush to arrest as many people as possible.
They're doing things that objectively, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, objectively are unconstitutional. So no matter which side of the aisle on, you would like to uphold the Constitution a little bit, right? Like you can't go enter someone's home without a warrant, and not some like federal administration.
Which a whistleblower within ICE has made it clear that is what they were told to do, to go into people's home without a judicial warrant. That is denying your Fourth Amendment right. I believe it's the Fourth Amendment right. Unconstitutional. Andrew's correct. See, you research a little bit more. Love to see it.
Administrative bullshit warrant that they're trying to like skirt around it.
Yeah.
You cannot enter someone's home without an actual warrant. I think it's like the
Judicial Amendment Fourth.
It's the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So it's like, and they're just entering homes. Dude, I saw them arrest somebody for having an accent, and the ICE agent that arrested him had an accent.
Yeah,
Did you see that video? And the guy was like, "You got an accent too." Exactly.
That will forever be like, you people are not. They're not on your side. It's crazy that I'm seeing Asians and Hispanics and Black people in ICE. It's crazy to me. Y'all, what are we doing? It's like seeing Jewish people a part of Nazi Germany.
And it was just like, you're seeing these, I mean, obviously you've heard of the situation of them deporting legal residents.
Yep.
Like, we at a certain point in time, and I think this is why there's zero support for this. I think it's important to speak up, because I've spoken to a lot of people who are seeing it and they think it's abhorrent. And they go, I don't know if I feel comfortable talking about it. I don't know if they feel like exposure to Trump or whatever like that. I think those are the moments where you got to speak up, especially because
you see how Trump moves. It's like, hey, you speak up, you're out.
All right, then you're out. Who gives a fuck?
And that's the problem. Everybody in his administration wants to be there.
Well, then I'm not even talking about people in the administration. I'm just talking about regular people that were sympathetic to, some of the immigration reform that Trump was talking about, and then are realizing, no, this is not what they wanted at all. And now they're just kind of quiet because they're worried about like getting licks or getting public lashings or criticism on the internet.
do.
Get it. Get it. And anybody who wants to criticize us for a platform, 100%. That is fair. 100%. But that doesn't mean you just stay quiet. Like if you see something that you look at and you're like, I don't think this is America that I want to live in. And which is the sentiment of everybody right now.
And this is why I'm willing to extend the olive branch to Andrew Schultz and Flagrant right now. They are not our enemies at the moment. Of course, there are certain things that they still don't have correct, but they thought they were doing things in the best interest of the country. We try to tell them that Donald Trump is not going to do things in the best interest of the country. He's going to do things that's in the best interest of himself and his deep state and his mega cult. I'm glad Andrew is woken up. He got a little more woke, people. He woken up.
There are a few like ideologues in the internet that are trying to defend this. I'm sure you guys have seen.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of Americans are looking at this and they're going, this is not a country that we believe that we are. And we can't continue to support stuff like this. And I think it's important to talk about it.
So I'm just going to give you pushback. I don't think the criticism that we're getting for having Trump on is fair, because one, we've had people from both sides of the aisle on, and it's like we've never.
Shut the fuck up. At least Andrew recognized, let's criticize. I don't think the criticism is fair because we had both guys in the. You had the president of the United fucking States on. What the fuck are you talking about? And you allowed him to push crazy, wrong narratives to your podcast to the audience. Shut the fuck up. I am extending the olive branch to Andrew Schultz and anybody else who realizes the bullshit that they did. You can go fuck yourself. If you're still not realizing what you did, then you're the problem.
Ever been a podcast that's like, hey, you should listen and do what we say or tell you to do.
Right.
We're just curious guys who wanted to have a conversation with the guy running for office, running for presidency. We wanted to have Kamala on as well. So it's like that criticism, I don't think it's fair. They're just, because we had him on and now they're like, oh, everything bad he's doing, we're attributing that to you just because you had him on. And I don't think that's fair at all. Because that's not what you wanted. If he came in here and said like, oh, hey, we're going to forcefully remove all of these illegal immigrants.
it's your fault for not doing research because we knew exactly that is what they were intending to do. If you listen to a lot of things that they were saying, if you understood what their platform is, if you understood how immigration works, we knew this is exactly what they intended to do. I mean, he fucking made up a lie during the campaign that Haitians were eating cats and dogs. You think he gave a fuck about any of these people that are not traditional Americans? Fuck no. So shut the fuck up. Shut up. Stop playing victim. Sound like a snowflake.
It's the way that they're doing it.
Accept responsibility. Be a man.
A lot of pushback.
I mean, we specifically pushed back. I specifically told him, I was like, dude, you hired illegals.
Yeah.
Like I was taking care of my illegals. Like, let's have a pathway to citizenship. Let's have some empathy. And he's like, we're going after the criminals. And maybe I naively believed that he would do that. But it's very clear, like just by the numbers, that that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
And they're using this bullshit of like, we want to make sure you guys are safe and secure. How is this more safe? Tell me how this is more secure.
I don't feel any safer. Walking in any downtown of any city I perform in, it doesn't feel any safer.
Yeah. It's also, it bugs me when there's like a false dichotomy where people are like, yeah, dude, but you can't just let like the borders be completely open. So this has to happen. It's like, well, there was a time when, people were coming in illegally and then they were deported humanely. And that I think there is a way to do both, right? Like Obama deported people that was done with civility and like keeping human integrity intact. Whereas this seems like
Joe Biden also deported people. Even Trump's first term, you could argue it was much more humane than this.
it's intentionally cruel.
Yeah. And intentionally chaotic.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if someone comes in illegally and like, they get caught and then they get deported. It's like, I think most people are like, yeah, GG's. Like,
and they were aware of that risk when they came illegally.
Right. Yeah. And again, I don't want it to happen. I wouldn't want it to happen to my friends. Like, I think
100%.
what ICE is doing is awful. But again, it's the cruelty, and like that cruelty is a feature of the system.
And it seems to be rewarded by the administration.
Right. Exactly.
Or
And
at bare minimum defended.
Yeah.
With zero reflection or accountability. I was shocked that they each echoed the exact same sentiment. Not a single one of them was like, hey, we have to look at the footage. Immediate knee-jerk reaction. There was like a group text went out like, hey, show strength.
That is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Group signal text went out.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
And that's the most concerning thing to me, because like we can see in like the line of duty, like shit happens, right? Like,
I don't think the ICE officers are going out, how can we shoot an American citizen today?
right. I mean, yeah, I think they're going out to like intimidate people, but like as far as like killing goes, I don't know. But as far as like the recourse that happens after an event like this, you would hope that there's going to be some type of fair third-party investigation and holding people accountable.
Yeah,
right?
the grossest part of the Trump
like that's what
statement,
you want to.
Which is what Democrats are going to be advocating for with the DHS bill in 2 weeks. One of the things that they are going to preach for ICE reform is an independent agency to do investigations on ICE. So if they're doing bad shit.
That's what you want to happen. We've seen his first administration. He doesn't like being held accountable for anything. And I don't think it's any different.
The part that got me in his statement was immediately deflecting to Ilhan Omar and how she has so much money, which is the thing. But like, someone is dead, and then within 2 sentences, you're trying to deflect onto Ilhan Omar being crooked with money, which I do. I think she probably is.
Look into that.
I don't know enough about Ilhan Omar, but if we're going to put things into context, the reason why she starts making much more money is because her husband is extremely rich. So her net worth grew because she's married to someone who is extremely rich. So that's the idea there. Other than that, I don't fucking know anything about Ilhan Omar to defend, but I put things into context.
Yeah, this ain't the fucking time in the same statement.
But just as you want accountability for her, if that is fucked up or if it is crooked, then we want accountability for this.
Yeah.
And accountability for her is not accountability for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's just horrendous.
And by all accounts, he seemed like a good guy. Like he's literally like a gun owner. He's like as far as like the American sort of like stereotype goes, like he's working with veterans, a legal gun owner, protesting, doing all the right things.
Probably voted for Trump if we just looking at the facts.
Yeah.
This guy's supporting veterans. He
did not vote for Trump. I actually have no idea. Let me not say that. I have no idea.
And legal gun owner, which in and of itself, usually that's a single issue thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got no sympathy for one of your own?
I guess regardless, taking away your Second Amendment, man.
Yo, you saw them say that. I think one of them said, I forget who, was like, why would you take a gun to a protest?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've seen this all over the internet, but people are like, where was the same energy with Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
No problem when he took a fucking AK to the protest.
Yep.
So, which I think is an incredibly fair argument. Yeah, it's
even talking to like my conservative friends, it's like, imagine in the future, which this probably wouldn't happen because I just don't see it being a feature of the Democrat Party, but like imagine 2 cycles from now you have a Democratic president that's like, hey, we want to make sure every gun owner in America has the right paperwork, all the right registration for their
instead
weapons.
Of going after illegals, they're going after gun owners.
But you just want to make sure everyone has the right paperwork. That's all.
Stopping you in the street, they're like, you look like a gun owner,
and they're sending mass people around to people's houses that have guns. They're like, hey, we just want to make sure you have all your weapons. Is that cool? Da da da. Like it'd be pandemonium. Like everyone would be like, why are you doing this?
And you'd be furious. I want to push back against that too.
I don't want to live in a country where you just have like mass agents going around like checking people around people.
Yeah, but because it's happening to brown people, people voted for it. Like he said he was going to do this, not in the manner that they're doing it, but he did say, hey, I plan to deport as much people as possible. Like,
So if you understand that, then why are you playing victim, acting like, oh yeah, we brought in Donald Trump, but we shouldn't get that criticism. If you understood that, then why you whining? That just didn't make any sense.
I think the argument would be like deporting people that are not legally here in a humane or kind way would be much more digestible than this horrific shit that we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that those people that are deported couldn't then get legal status at another time. Me personally, I would rather a pathway to citizenship. But if somebody goes, hey, we need a strong border and we should have laws, and if you enter the country illegally, you should be removed and then try to re-enter legally. If somebody said that, I wouldn't go, you're crazy.
Yeah. And Fareed Zakaria, who is a liberal who I think is awesome, came on here and said, yeah, the Democrats gave asylum to too many people. It was just like a very easy excuse to get, and we just let everybody get asylum. We shouldn't have done that. So again, I don't think what was going on before was good, but what is going on now is so undeniably bad. And I don't know if you remember, like 5 years ago, we were talking about police reform during COVID. And I was like, if this was happening to white people, it would get a much different response. And I think Black Lives Matter should highlight the times when there was like police abuse or whatever toward a white person, a U.S. citizen. And I think that's part of why you're seeing so much outrage. And I think that's the one silver lining of this thing is you're seeing abuse to U.S. citizens, white dudes. And it hit.
That was kind of in the back of my mind, but I never wanted to say it. And I kind of agree. It's very annoying. I do think if these people were people of color, there would not be as big of outrage. But Renee Good and I believe Alex Preddy were both white people. And I do think that plays a part in the overall outrage, especially in Minnesota. But I don't want to make it a race thing. That is something on the back of my mind. But that's not what we shouldn't focus on. That's not that shouldn't be the focus on what's going on right now.
It's people differently when they look like you. That's just what it is. If the guy looks like, you're not a bad person for feeling this way. Yeah. When you see yourself reflected in a guy that's a victim that's getting brutalized, it hits you differently. And that's the one like kind of silver lining of this very dark cloud is like, oh, now you're seeing it happen to everybody. It happens to everybody, and now maybe we should do something.
I mean, like, couldn't you just think about it? Like if your face was shown on all those videos that are out there, if your name tag was present, if your badge number was there, wouldn't you act differently?
Yep.
And if it wasn't, if you were a completely anonymous human being, you would also act differently. And we have to accept that given these circumstances and given the support, and I would even say like the push of the administration to behave in a certain way, you're just going to get more of this if you don't change it. Like this doesn't stop today. If they don't change it drastically, we'll just have more and more of this. Plain and simple.
And it's probably safer for federal agents, right? Like if they have their body cam and they're accountable to the law, they're going to operate in a way that's going to not get them caught up in shit like this. So I'm like, I feel like it's just better for everyone if you are operating within the law. I mean, I feel like that's kind of dumb that you even have to say it.
No, say it. I just think it's important to say. I think it's important for us to say. And it's like, yeah.
How do we get the current administration to stop conducting themselves in the manner that they're doing it right now?
Well, I think that protest is the way to do it. I think you're already seeing them start to back off from it. Like Trump's going to fire, maybe he might fire fucking, he'll
I think Bovino already got swapped for
it. So Bovino got swapped. Homan's going in. Maybe he fires Noam or something. Somebody's going to have to take the fall for it. And I think that he's like, I had a great call with Waltz, the guy who called retarded for the last 3 months. He goes, I had a great call with Waltz and it looks like we're on the same page. But this is the example and the power of respectful protests.
Another thing you do is vote and like contest.
That's the other thing. Midterms are coming up. They're going to get absolutely washed in the midterms. If they even try to defend this or continue to defend this and continue these, right, they're going to get out. They're already going to get smoked, and it's going to be a fucking bloodbath if this continues. It's not popular. Have you met one person, like an actual human being, not some like ideologue on the internet, like an actual human being that goes, yes, this is exactly what I wanted?
I haven't, but we're also in a fairly liberal place.
Yeah, I don't have too many conservative friends.
I mean, I reached out to like my people that are conservative, like ideologues, but also just like random, like dads that live in Florida and shit. And even they were like, yeah, this is not a good, like, this is not what I want.
Will the bad sentiment last 10 more months? Midterms are in 10 months.
The thing is, though, I feel like they already know that the midterms are lost. And that, I mean, this is like now conspiracy land, but I'm like, is this a push to be like, hey, this whole country's in disarray, martial law, we got to cancel the midterms, it's corrupt, yada, yada.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I know this is crazy, but I'm like,
I think that would get mad.
There is some concern. So this is one of the initial theories on why Donald Trump was sending the National Guard everywhere. He tried to make it seem like it was for immigrants or whatever. That was a bunch of bullshit. There is concern from a lot of people that the National Guard will be sent in specific areas, or especially where people can vote in Democratic areas. And even though they won't say you can't vote, there will be a concern of fear mongering by by MAGA against the Dems. I'm not saying that will happen, but that was a looming theory going around. Trump's ego is burning the entire world, yet he's focused on arms deals. If he's trying to protect the world, why being dear to Pakistan that gave shelter to 9/11 mastermind bin Laden? He doesn't care about peace. He doesn't care about any of that. He cares about his influence. That's what he cares about. He cares about his influence. So I don't know what the peace negotiation deal looks like from with Donald Trump in Pakistan, but it's crazy to see their aggressive nature towards Iran regarding their potential nuclear plans. What does that look like? Will they put boots on the ground for Iran, especially considering how chaotic it is right now with the protests? We'll see. This might be a good excuse for Donald Trump to send soldiers in Iran.
With crazy uproar.
Yeah, but
he could do it.
This is also going to cause a shutdown, probably. There's like a
over the ICE funding.
Yeah, there's an ICE funding bill that's going to be pushed through in the next like 10 to 15 days, depending on snow and a few other things. And this will probably cause a shutdown. So like that will dramatically affect how the
no shutdown, but the bill will be talked about and DHS funding will be affected. So no shutdown though.
this administration navigates that.
You know, it's really unfortunate because like Trump has this unbelievable ability to take a bipartisan supported issue and make it into a culture war. Like he's unique in his ability to take something that everybody supports and then make it divide everybody right down the middle. This one isn't even divided down the middle. I feel like most rational people are like, this is fucked up. This got to stop. This is not the America we want to live in. But like, if he literally just came out and did exactly what he was saying on the pod with us, which was, we're going to deport the criminals. I don't know a single American that would push back on that. I'm sure there would be people, but if they're like, we're going to go.
The issue, Andrew, is that he made it seem like they're going to do something brand fucking new. Joe Biden and Barack Obama were deporting criminals already. Donald Trump lied to you and try to make you believe that there are all these crazy criminals that Biden's not going after. That was the problem. You shouldn't have fell for the bait.
They're arrested. They are in jail currently. They're waiting trial. There are people that have committed crimes and they're still illegal, but they're back on the streets. If he just sent those people back, do you think that there would be culture war about this? Do you think there would be mass protests?
I don't think so. But like you said,
talk about Hassan getting cut. What happened with Hassan? I have no idea. If there's a video of Hassan getting cut, let me see it. What is it?
So then his numbers would look low and it would look like not a
like he's not doing the job.
Is that why they're just deporting everybody just so the numbers look good for him?
Yes.
Why Minnesota? Why is he going to Minnesota? Is there something I'm missing?
Everywhere?
Yeah,
he's in a bunch of first place.
But I think Minnesota specifically just had the most confrontations.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of
that's my interpretation at least.
He went to Minnesota because he reacted to Nick Shirley's propaganda campaign where he just lied about daycares. That's why he started sending people to Minnesota.
Also, a lot of blue states.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
No, I would probably make the argument that the blue states are more often like sanctuary cities where they're looking out to protect the illegal immigrants that are there.
I mean, I think there's a lot of illegal immigrants in Arizona.
Yeah, but I don't think
Texas.
I don't think the state will protect them as much. I think the state would probably cooperate to get them the fuck up out of there. Whereas in Minneapolis, I think the state is a little bit more empathetic to them, and they're like, "No, we don't want you to just do these fucking searches. We don't want you to. We're not going to have law enforcement go support you on these raids." And I think that's where there's going to be some.
Okay, maybe.
His wife went on a podcast talking about giving it away in college, but he said she was a virgin when they met. Oh, you're talking about this motherfucker. I thought you were talking about Hassan Piker. I mean, I'm not here to talk about that, but this dude is definitely cucked. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's cucked. He's in denial. He did have a good story how she stayed with him when he was struggling, but she's not this sweet angel, clearly. And she tried to I heard one story where she said, "Oh, I was just lying for the camera. You know, I wasn't really like that." Come on, get the fuck out of here.
State will push back, but I think the people, when you start taking people that they have connections with, like, hey, you may be the home attendant or you may be whatever, like I have a relationship with you and now you're just grabbing this person that loved and worked with all this time.
That's what you got to think about more. Like, it's like you got to think about the restaurant that you're going to, and the guy that works there. You got to think about your gym and the guy that you see working there. Like, you got to think about each one of those people that's being taken away. Not the violent criminals, get them the fuck up out of here. But the people that are just being asked on the street, "Hey, you have an accident. Where are your papers?"
Yeah.
When you start imagining those people as these people you interface with on your regular everyday life, it just becomes like just horrendous.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
That is an amazing.
And I don't have any like.
And that's what people need to start doing. Listen, they're not just going after criminals. We know this. That's why there was a Supreme Court law that was put in place or a Supreme Court ruling that was put in place that allows them to racially profile people, which is a crazy thing that officers can profile you based off what you look like and how you sound. But they put that into place so they can go after anybody that is different, that is considered not traditionally American. But you got to recognize America, what makes America special is all those differences, is the accents, is the different cultures, is the different skin color. In reality, they're just trying to save the white majority. Who gives a fuck about that nowadays? The ultimate conclusion for humanity is everybody's going to be mixed in some version of brown. But they don't want that. And that's disgusting. So think of all the people you know, like Andrew said. And those people, those are Trump and MAGA's enemy.
Real faith in anything they do being out of any kind of goodwill anymore. I was willing to have that in before the election because I felt like liberals, they kind of fucked things up, and then they're running Kamala that nobody really supports, and they just foisted her on us and XYZ. But that got used up pretty quickly. And now I don't really think anything they're doing is with any good intention. That's like out the window for me.
Yeah.
The red states.
So what do you think that they react to? Like, what do you think the way to get
to go into their city jails? Blue states don't. That's a lie. You're just making shit up. Trump influenced the IMF to approve $1 billion loan to Pakistan and then forced them to buy F-35s while fooling American citizens that his government is making money. Ooh, might have to look that up after. That's interesting. Diversity is our strength. I love diversity. Base, Neville's being an idiot in my chat. He has successfully united the entire world. He did. That's why we got Canada that's doing trade deals with China, and we got the EU doing trade or considering deals with India right now. It's ridiculous. It's nothing to do with the way you were just base. Hey, what's 1 + 1? I don't know if you went to school. So I always have to. That's my litmus test on MAGA's education. Sometimes they don't even know how to do 3rd grade math. So maybe something a little harder. 9 times 8. Can you do that?
Them to change course on this?
The NRA is apparently pretty upset, and I think the NRA sends them a lot of money, and then that's going to make them react.
They haven't donated that much in recent times, so they don't have as big of a voice as they used to have.
So then, what does Trump react to? Like, what is? Does he react to the stock market? Does he react to GDP?
Yes.
Like, what are the metrics that can be used to make the administration?
He does react to the stock market. The prime example that happened recently is when he was threatening Greenland. The stock market started plummeting drastically when he said that he was going to invade them with force. And then after the stock market plummeted the next day, he was like, oh, never mind, we're not actually going to do that. And then he gave a whole speech at Davos on how they're not going to use force. They can, but they're not going to. And then they made some behind closed doors negotiated deal with Denmark and Greenland that they're not going to do this anymore. They completely backtracked after the stock market got cooked because we know Donald Trump has a lot of investments. He makes his money there. He wants the stock market to be up, which is why he had a private meeting that all of us should know about with billionaires and how he was fucking over the stock market, especially in his early terms with its tariffs, how he was telling them, oh, looking good for you, when he was talking to his billionaire friends. So not only does the stock market something he cares about because it affects his money, but it also his billionaire friends, he cares about their opinions. And that's why he has private meetings with the oil investors regarding Venezuela and asking their opinion too. So let's just get all that out of the way. Nothing I said is untrue, Sky. You're a dumbass. MAGA fears losing their way. We saw Elon Musk crying and bitching about it on the internet about how people like, oh, we're about to lose the white majority. Like, who gives a fuck about a white majority? Who cares about race? It's ridiculous.
Bend to the whim of the people.
I think stock market and popularity.
Yeah, I think if his own people stop buying the BS, then he's like, oh, now
but they're
like
cold,
said,
find
so
another
they'll
hustle.
never stop
Like you
buying
said, his
the
own
BS.
people are being quiet. They might not agree with what's going on, but they're not loudly talking about how they disagree.
I've seen some like dudes who are like, yo, I was at January 6th and this is fucked up. I'm not saying for this, I'm speaking out.
The fact you know people at January.
I don't know them. I'm on social media.
I've seen. He didn't say I know.
My bad.
Yeah,
I think you just talking to him.
I go to one government protest. No, but like, I've seen these people
We kept in touch
on Instagram, and I'm like, good for you. Like, that's fire, because you're standing up for your principles. You're standing up for what you think is right or wrong. Like, we might disagree on so many other fucking things, but that's the thing. It's like, I don't need to agree with you on everything, but I need to agree with you on basic right and wrong. This is wrong.
Yeah.
There's no way to justify this shit. And I understand that there's like a lot. I understand when these kind of things happen, most people just retreat to a side, right? Because there's security in the side. Some things are so fucking blatant. It's just right or wrong. The side is right or wrong. Doesn't matter if you're left or right. The side is right or wrong. Nobody's watching this and be like, this is right. This is the America I want to live in.
Unloading a clip in a U.S. citizen is wrong.
For exercising his constitution.
Trump is an idiot. You can't make anybody look bad. He's dumb as fuck. For MAGA, it's all about racism. I won't go that far because that's loaded. I would say for the Groypers and the ultra Christian nationalists, it's all about race. I think Donald Trump only cares about his money. I think he cares about profit. The thing is, all the people who have influence or who care about this bullshit regarding this ultra Christian white nationalist type of country, they are heavily influencing Donald Trump, like Stephen Miller. So I don't think MAGA inherently cares about it, but I do think a lot of influence there cares about it. Or a lot of people that are in that camp cares about it. Stands nothing to gain from tens of millions of room temp IQ third worlders based. Minnesota, Somalian, Frederick says 220 or Somalian, 85% of Somalian households are unassisted. They don't assimilate. See, this is an example. He wants to just get rid of Somalians, even though the majority of them are citizens in Minnesota. And I don't know if the number you said is true. 85% of fraud cases since 2023 in Minnesota are Somalians. Dan Hibicki. That is indeed Dan Hibicki. If Trump is an idiot, what does that make you? Also, you clearly want race to be. You're a dumbass if you don't understand my point. Oh, more dumbasses. Okay.
Rights. Yeah. Like, don't bring up any bullshit. I think fucking even Kash Patel said something like, "Why would you bring a gun to a protest?" Right? Like, was it him that actually said it?
He said that exactly.
It's like, are they not even thinking before they're tweeting these things?
No,
they're just following the company line.
But the company line would say you should be able to bring your legal firearm where the fuck you want in America. Yeah. So it's like they're scrambling to defend something that's indefensible to the point where they're willing to rebuke their own constituents.
Yeah, exactly.
They're willing to insult their own constituents. Like, how dare you live a constitutional life? How dare you exercise your constitutional rights? You should just do whatever the fuck we tell you to do.
Yes. And that's why I wonder when his base is going to open up and see that this is the play that they've been playing since.
Yeah. Yes, it's an interesting thing because I think that we have like an all-time low expectation of government, and like
I'm at the point in my life where I'm thinking complicate people are just as complicit. Are you talking about complicit people or just as bad as the Nazis? Complicit people in Germany during the Nazi era are just as bad as Nazis, sure, to an extent. I want to go all the way there. It's peaked physically, politically. It's the law. What the fuck are you yapping about? Oh, sorry. It's peaked. Sorry, town. Peaked physically, politically. It's the law of nature. MAGA leaders know. 29 dropped out. Texas cities. Oh, it's the law of the political. Yeah, a lot of Republicans and MAGA are turning on him, which is why the Minnesotan, the guy who's running for governor, who's a Republican in Minnesota, dropped out of the race because MAGA is, like you said, completely incompetent. 85% of Somalis that were charged with fraud. This number about 85% of fraud in Minnesota are Somalians, I don't believe that number. Give me a source. I think you made that shit up. Now, this number is probably more realistic. 85% of Somalis that were charged with fraud were convicted. Okay, sure. That's more reasonable. That other number that the other guy said, that's some bullshit. Let's continue.
We have an all-time low expectation of faith or trust in government. Like government officials enriching themselves on both sides of the aisle, right? So it's almost like it's horrible when we see Trump's family make hundreds of millions of dollars on fucking meme coins. It's horrible when we see Pelosi do it. It's horrible with the Nepo baby shit. Like it's horrible, but for whatever reason, we're almost like desensitized to it because we're so used to it happening. Right? This feels distinct. This feels different. This feels like something I haven't seen in my lifetime.
I've never seen this.
You know what I mean? It's like this isn't like run-of-the-mill political corruption and cronyism.
And to me, this doesn't feel different. Like during the BLM stuff, like I feel like cops were killing people and immediately they were trying to turn the person who died into the aggressor and like make them the reason why that situation happened.
Like Philando Castile.
Yeah. Like, like before an investigation happened, it was like, oh, he sold drugs back in the day, or he's a user or a gang member, something like that.
That's a fair point.
So this is not new.
That's a fair point.
This guy was white, Alex. That's very different. Fuck is this guy talking?
That's
real shit, bro.
I've seen some like idiots. I've seen some folks in Minneapolis. Like I've seen like some liberal folks in Minneapolis, said that they were buying guns and they were, wanted to make sure they could defend themselves against tyranny, et cetera. And it's like, again, I grew up in New York. We weren't allowed to have guns. I don't have any kind of like infatuation with guns. But what?
No, you finish your point and then.
But like in a weird way,
Trump's family allegedly owns a crypto company. He has given shares to Pakistan's president, army chief, so he could use their. You're making me interested in looking up a lot of this Pakistan stuff. It's not something I've looked into. I believe it. Of course, we got crypto coin with Donald Trump, and then obviously the Melania coin. And there is very clearly something that Donald Trump is trying to do with the Binance CEO. So there's something there. We know that foreign entities have been investing in these coins to have private meetings with Donald Trump. So there's 100% something there. And Jared Kushner, who's like a financial mogul that's a part of Donald Trump's family, has been going around all these different countries and doing these has been having this weird type of influence, which I will do a deep dive in the future. I just haven't looked into this Pakistan stuff. Also, correct Arnek, everybody's opinions about Somalians is purely based off something that happened during the Biden administration when they were the ones who started the investigation for these Somalians. And the person who started this entire thing for like the feeding the families corruption scheme was a white woman. But nobody talks about that. They just talk about Somalians. It's funny how that works. W narratives, W Twitter, W Facebook. Read a fucking book, MAGA.
Does this highlight, I can't believe I'm saying, but like the importance of an armed republic?
And you know what's crazy? Because of what just happened, I'm second guessing whether or not I should get the gun that I'm currently applying for.
Because you're worried that if you had a gun in an altercation like this, it would put yourself
literally, he was just doing the right thing coming to this woman's defense.
Yeah, I know. That was a crazy thing. The ICE officer, I don't even know if anybody's talking about, like throws the woman onto the snow. Like
pepper sprays her, like he's just trying to protect her.
No,
there's no way you do that. What's that?
The only pushback on that, and I just was reading online, like sort of things about
what
this.
You wrote?
Yeah, because I was reading what I wrote just a second ago under my burner account. But some concealed carry people are saying that he should not involve himself in an escalating thing while armed.
Go fuck yourself.
So that's the argument that we were saying. It's like, okay, what would we say to our children? We would say that. We would like, hey, don't involve yourself in a conflict like that if you are armed. You're raising the stakes. What would we say to any of our friends? Comply with law enforcement. Yeah. That's what we would say to anybody that we care about, we love, because we want to see them come home tonight. That's what we would say. But there is a higher expectation that we have for law enforcement.
Of course.
And the reality is that a lot of these ICE dudes, these aren't like lifers working for ICE. A lot of them have like 6 weeks of training. So they're undermanned, undertrained, and zero accountability for their actions and no identity to reflect upon. It's like...
This is another good point by Andrew. The 6 weeks thing is speculation. People are thinking that they're like 47 days is something that was said by a whistleblower. We can't confirm that for sure. But one thing we do know is that the original thing for ICE training was 5 months, and it's been heavily reduced from the 5 months to really expedite people to get boots on the ground. Another thing that he made a good point about is how ICE is not being held accountable, which is true. Bovino is being held accountable purely because he was so dog shit in that one interview where he was saying that the real victims were ICE agents and that Preddy was a suspect. He ruined the reputation and the credibility of MAGA. But the two ICE agents that did the terrible shit, They just got moved to different departments in different states that nobody knows. So they're still working. It's just, and of course their face is covered up, so we have no idea what their identity is. So they were not gotten in trouble at all. Fuck ICE, fuck law enforcement. I'll never say fuck law enforcement, but definitely fuck ICE. I also would say, like, there is that growing sentiment with people making the argument, don't have your gun. People, it's like, I'm here with you. Philando Castile was executed. I actually don't know. They're voted for this, and now they're, oh, you're saying fuck them. Patty, I hear you, but I think they're doing, I believe that they're good faith right now, and I believe that they are people that should be brought into the fold to, you need as much people as possible to deal with MAGA, Patty, is my point. And I believe in forgiveness. Even though I'm not Christian, I believe forgiveness is one of the most powerful things you can do. So, clowns ever graduate from kindergarten? Is that the best you got, Neville? Is that the best you got? Plus, there are the ones that want to go out and wild out. Veteran ICE officers don't want this clown show. Facts, 100%. You said something about 500 million for Middle East for half of True Social, and give the Nvidia chips deal was done 2 weeks after. Not really sure what you're referring to there. Where was this good faith when Trump was sitting right there and they were sucking them off? I'm with you, Patty. I'm with you. It still pisses me off to this day. They helped Trump get elected. But now we are up against a potential existential threat in fascist MAGA. You got to be willing to extend an olive branch. You just do. I think the Mamdani interview was actually pretty solid, all things considered. And I think they actually worked well together. They seem good faith. They were reflected on their actions. I'm willing to hear them out. Donkey, I understand your ire as well.
We would tell people, hey, don't get involved, but I know myself, if I saw a wrong happening, I'm going to step in.
I did that shit and you ended up in prison this week. I saw something wrong happen, I had to step in.
Yeah, I did that shit and I ended up in prison too. Yeah, we're letting a black man in an establishment.
Well, the next time we're in Ghana, I'll do it again. But yeah, so it's...
Yeah, he did the noble thing. He did the heroic thing.
Yeah.
That's what you hope your son does in general. But even though the selfish party's like, no, just come home. But if your son did that and survived, you'd be so fucking proud.
Yeah, like
he also has a medical
background.
background. Like, who better to like be around, you know what I mean, than someone that actually has like a medical training to assist.
So that's why I was like, I was really thinking, I was like, holy shit, because I know once I have it, I'm gonna have it on me. Always. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, that could be me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something to consider, though. Like,
no, but I'm still getting it though.
I obviously still get it, but it is something that is always concerning. I can imagine when you're carrying a firearm, things can escalate to death very quickly.
Yeah.
I think people say that. They're like, if you own or carry a firearm, the likelihood of you dying by gun goes up like a significant percentage. Now, I think a lot of that might be suicide.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So I don't know if that like skews the data a bit, but
it's crazy. Andrew knows more than he lets on, and it still pisses me off. He was so capitulate to Donald Trump during the interview. He does know stuff. The U.S.-India free trade deal was stalled for more than 20 years. Trump made it possible in a week. So we turned one of the U.S. best allies, India, against them in less than 30 days. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's just horrific. And you want to know some crazy shit? Have you know, like, and this is not to get conspiratorial, but it's pretty like blatant. So like the U.S. just takes over TikTok, right? Like Larry Ellison and like a few other people bought it.
Yeah.
There's been all these people that are like political commentators on TikTok and Instagram that like I follow. Some have been very critical of me and us, whatever, but I still follow because I want to know what's going on. All of their political stuff is being throttled to 0 views. If you talk about ICE or anything political, if you're even talking about the weather, 0 views.
I am a man of objectivity. TikTok right now is fine. Now, I do think there's been something weird on my TikTok in particular. When I put certain hashtags, my views were low-key shadow banned because my views have been way lower than typical. And then I did one without any hashtags, and then it was fine. So I do think there's something weird there. But overall, the reason why a lot of these views were 0 is because data center, and the reason why I know this is because I'm part of the TikTok Creators Rewards Program. rewards program. A data center for TikTok was cooked due to the winter storm, and now it's all of it should be good now. So that's my understanding. So this part is not true. So I'm gonna skip past it. I meant US Europe FTA, India Europe FTA deal. Oh yeah, with the EU doing deals with India now. Yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to.
So yeah. So what do we do? What do we do moving forward? Look, here's the thing, and like obviously the internet is going to frame certain things certain ways, and that's completely fine. And people are digesting information in 60-second clips, etc. And that allows people to frame situations in a certain way, people in a certain way. 100%. I don't expect everybody who watches clips of us on the internet to watch every single interview we do. Like I'm sure there's definitely people who saw us interview Trump and never saw us interview Bernie, Buttigieg, or the handful of other Democrats that we've had on the pod. I get that, and that's totally fine. And that's the world we live in when we decide to put stuff out on the internet.
Yeah,
right?
Give us credit for getting Zoran away.
Yo, we get no credit.
You do get credit. I made a video on my YouTube channel when you did it. It's just don't bring Trump on and let him lie on your podcast. That's the problem.
We fixed the bump on the Williamsburg Bridge.
If I had Donald Trump on my podcast, he would not come on my podcast. Let's be very clear. I would grill the shit out of him. And I think my podcast with the California conservative governor candidate was pretty good, all things considered. But I wish I went so much fucking harder on his talking points. And moving forward, I'm going to make sure that I know exactly how to deal with like these talking points, because I didn't know a lot about California. So I was kind of out of my depth a little bit, just a tiny bit. I still handle myself extremely well. Don't you worry. But I have another potential guess. And Patty, this might interest you. Someone reached out to me to come onto the podcast. Apparently, the guy that reached out to me was a part of Donald Trump's Christian, what do you call it? It's like the Christian, like, society thing. Let me look up exactly who this is. If anybody knows who this is, let me know. All right, this is who we're talking about. Jackson LaMayer. He is a key member of the White House Faith Council, personally present when President Trump signed the executive order establishing it, and is currently helping lead the council's work exposing systematic anti-Christian bias inside the DOJ, FBI, and IRS. They reached out to me to come on my podcast. Now, they might cancel. I gave them my calendar and all that stuff. I've yet to hear back. But if they do pick a date to come on the podcast, I'm going to make sure that I know everything I need to know when dealing with the talking points. I'm not anti-Christian, but MAGA loves their talking points. The EU didn't attack India's domestic dairy and agricultural sectors, gave them a lot of room on their exports too. I don't know much about the EU-India's relationship. I'm America pilled. I only know things American and American adjacent.
That credit.
No, but so like I understand that is just the cost of putting stuff out there on the internet, and the internet is so siloed that you're only going to get the specific things. And I get that, and it might be frustrating, but it's no like complaints. But I think the important thing that we're doing is like not retreating to the security of a side. And I think that's what a lot of people end up doing in these types of situations is they just go, oh, there's a lot of criticism out here for having this take. And, despite having Trump on the pod or something like that, I'm just going to avoid the conversation entirely, or I'm going to retreat to the Trump side. And it's just like, I don't think that's anything that we've done. I don't think it's anything we'll continue to do. I think from the day he's been in office, we've been.
That's why I respect you, Andrew. You realize you're wrong. You apologize it. You understand it. And now you're not retreating from it and you're calling out the bullshit. So I respect it. Come to our side. Trump is evil. Neville, you've said that already. Come up with a better. It is damage control, but we need them. We need more voices to call out Donald Trump. We just do, Patty. We can't do this. I don't want to say that. I can't speak to it. I think it's genuine.
And bringing on voices here that are incredibly critical of him and giving them a platform to speak on those criticisms.
Yeah. Politics is just messy, dog.
It is
This shit
ugly.
is, I don't know.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's fun to talk about, but my issue with like having politicians like they just gotta lie.
Like, yeah, I like
No, this
Real
is-
Housewives. I like
I mean, politics is Real Housewives for men.
Yeah.
But say your point. This is a good
But
point.
just like having politicians like on any show, like they kind of have to like bend the truth. They sort of are required to lie, right? Like they have private donors that are giving them hundreds of millions of dollars in order to lie. So I'm like, yeah, ask them an honest question, and they're like, yeah, whatever. And
They're
then
also
just
genius
get
level
around.
manipulators. I can't think of a politician we didn't like that we didn't walk away being like, I like that guy.
Trump.
As a guy,
Just speak for yourself with that one. 'Cause
you didn't find yourself. I'm being serious. You didn't find yourself remotely charmed by him.
I just thought he was a lot more savvy than I thought he was.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
so he was savvier in his.
Okay, so now I can. He should have spoke up more if you didn't like Trump. That's my only thing with you, my boy. Sorry that I came at you so early on, but if you knew that Trump was not shit, you should have said more.
Ability to charm,
Mhm.
but you still looked at it through the lens of he's putting something on.
Yes.
He's just trying
Yeah.
to win. I think to Akash's point, it's like, yeah, you sit down with these people, like sitting down with the Buttigieg, you're like, wow, this guy's so fucking smart.
King
He's
Vaughn, I'm
thoughtful,
sorry, I
he meets you
wasn't
where
really
you are
looking at
emotionally, and
the
Bernie's just
IG live. I really focus on like my chat here. Cooked that point. I'm feeling with Cali. We're in a tough spot, but most people prefer Democrats. It's a blue state for a reason. Fire, chicken, unreal. Does America equal Trump now? The fuck? He's only listing people that are anti-Trump, not anti-American. Hypocrisy, big facts. They couldn't even call out the one agent. Agent that crosses the line should be put in their place. That's Uncle L. Abolish ICE. Let me your paperwork. Let me see your paperwork. Shout out you, King. I've seen you like retweet and like some of the stuff I put on IG. I wish I had like a more consolidated like stream setup so I could see everything. But
coming in, he's just like a wrecking ball of like old school New York charm, and you just want to fucking hang out.
Patty, I am a big shit talker. Don't not this guy. It's just I understand the bigger picture. And if I think I can bring Andrew in with his audience to preach the good word, it should. I called out him a lot. I was very critical. I hated Andrew Schultz's bullshit with the Donald Trump narrative. But sometimes you gotta forgive. You gotta forgive people. Now, there are certain people you can never forgive. And I stand by that as well. Donald Trump can go fuck himself. JD Vance can go fuck himself. Basically, most of the Republicans who capitulated, they can go fuck themselves. They will never be forgiven. Remove them from power. This guy was just a ignorant fool that allowed Donald Trump to push his messaging. And that's dangerous. But he's retracted. He's learned from his mistakes. And now he's calling out the MAGA administration. I think it's just
Out with him at play chess in a park or some shit. Like
Bernie charming and how little he gave a fuck if we liked him or not.
yeah,
I found that very nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I try not to be like too black-pilled about this shit because I just get like, I don't know. Like I don't.
Sorry, what's Black Bill?
It's just like so cynical. Just like nothing
Nothing
matters.
matters.
Like,
Nothing matters. They're all liars. They're all pieces of shit. The world's gonna go to shit. Why are we worried about it?
Yeah, like,
Which is the easiest way to go through life.
that's how that's my inclination.
Have you seen Everything
Astro.
Everywhere All at Once or
Yeah.
whatever? The dark donut or the dark bagel hole or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's what I think that's a metaphor for it. It's like, yes,
Keep that
life
bold
is or
bro.
life could be meaningless. We could choose to subscribe to this thing that we're thrown into the world and eventually we die. So what's the point in caring? What's the point in trying? And what's the point in trying to have a positive perspective on the world? And that is the easiest route that leads you to the most misery. And like the dad in the movie makes this choice to be fucking happy despite every reason to not. And that is the harder thing to do. And he's a fighter. And if you notice in like the, I don't know, not dream sequences, but the alternative realities, like he's an amazing fighter.
All right. That's all we got for Flagrant. Shout out Flagrant. They're learning their lesson. Oh, actually, let's look at the comments real quick before we move on from this. Don't think we forgot Akash. Yeah, we didn't forget everything that happening with your girl. I feel like a nuke could have been launched at it and all the comments would still be talking about Akash and his wife. So is everybody just talking about Akash and his wife? Flagrant is clocking about half the views they were before Jacqueline Gate. ICE kidnapped Akash from the thumbnails. I know for a fact there are people that never watched the podcast, saw the thumbnail, clicked on, and then were subject to an unexpected conversation about come on feet. What? Okay, everybody's just talking about Kasha's wife. Wait, all right, shut up.